There are some surprising things in the film. Creepy scary mask. These masks, it looks like a broken human joint. Whenever people wear them, not just a horrible mirror image. Moreover, it's a terrible prophecy of the coming horror game, so please watch carefully for the faint-hearted. Dashan is a novelist. Because his first novel was a flop. His wife Lem, take him to an all-inclusive resort. Here's hoping Dashan finds inspiration. During the encounter with the flirtatious actress Xiao Mei, Mei fell in love with Dashan at first sight, so I took my husband and his wife to dinner. On the recommendation of Little Beauty, 4 people drove away from the resort, to a remote place by the sea, but the scenery is strange beach play, it's just a bathroom break. Mei had sex with him. The mountain did not recover until late at night. On the way back, he drove around thinking, absent-minded, and the headlights began to flicker on and off. Sometimes it's impossible to see the road ahead. Dashan fiddled with the headlight switch, but suddenly hit a pedestrian walking on the road. Wait for them to hurry and panic off to observe. Found the man dead on the spot with his head broken. Mountain wanted to call the police, but was stopped loudly by Small Beauty. Mei tells them this country is cruel and dirty. If you get caught in jail, you're gonna die. They don't care. The accident was not an accident. Eventually, several people gave up calling the police and returned to the resort. The next day, the mountain was awakened by a rapid knock at the door. It was the local police waiting outside. Dashan was taken to a cold prison. A calm and serious policeman told him, he's on the run for hit and run. Execution for murder is only one way out, but it is a deeply disturbing way. As long as Dashan has enough money, replicas of mountains can be created locally, a clone with memories of mountains. And a clone will be executed in his place. As punishment for Dashan, he and his wife must watch the mountains double. Cut open by the victim's eldest son. Afterwards, the prison keeps his body double's urn as a souvenir. Give to Oyama. Back to the mountain of the resort slowly realized if they reach a certain level of wealth, there are no consequences he can't afford. In his opinion, this is a world where you can do whatever you want. So when his terrified wife wants to, in a hurry, to leave the hotel, he lied about losing his passport. Then you go to the hotel front desk. Extended stay by 1 week. I met Mei at first. Small Beauty tell their own experience to the mountain. It turns out that he and his husband had been because 2 people died because of a mistake. He also used money to escape capture. People like them are called zombies. They have met many of the same people over the years. These people gather in the mansion to share their little secrets, brewing their own evil plans. That night, each of them, choose your favorite gothic twist mask, to a mansion at the top of the hill. Soon a man and 2 women inside the mansion were tied up. Mei held Dashan's hand. Let him execute a bald man who can't resist. Just when he hesitated, the bodyguard, who was hiding in the shadows, suddenly opened fire. The scene descended into chaos. Panic in the Small Beauty with a weapon to chop hit the bodyguard right in the gut. But her husband was shot in the leg. The next day, all the people in the mountain were taken to prison. They chatted happily for hours before the police arrived. The man with glasses lashed out at them. This is not your amusement park. What you're doing right now, it's beyond the limits of what we can tolerate. So they all went to the guillotine. Dashan realized something was wrong, started running like crazy, but he was the first to be executed. Just then there was a burst of applause from the stands. Everyone is applauding the execution. The mountain, which had been nervous once, became extremely excited. He returned to the hotel with the souvenir. Lem feels like a different man. Packed up and left the resort. A free mountain is even more reckless. And with Mei, they tasted the local spices together. Spices have a displacing effect. The spice-soaked mountains became groggy. That night they started a new game. The party pulled over to the side of the road. Dashan keeps an eye on the burn. It didn't take long for the others to secure their target. Back at the mansion, Dashan began to eat spices like crazy. At this point, he was completely in a state of madness. To a masked man who can't fight back, unleashing their violence at will, do whatever it takes to humiliate him. The mountain could not be happier. All of a sudden, the little beauty opened the head of the masked man. The mountain was confused when he saw his face. The man looked exactly like himself. Maybe it's a hallucination, or the masked man was too much of an impact. The mountain hurried back to the house. He gasped for breath. Don't understand why you've become such a person. He looked out of the window. A group of people in scary masks are singing to themselves. Outside, the Small Beauty rushed over to explain the reason for things. The purpose is just to make the mountain have fun. Mountain took out his passport hidden under the hand wash. Left early the next morning. He was on the bus to the airport. It's been a horrible few days. I can't stop thinking about it. Cannot go away at all. At this time, Small Beauty, a line of people driving to chase, used the pistol directly to break the glass. The bus was stopped by force. The mountain fell into their hands again. I saw the mountain walking in front. The others followed slowly in their cars. It's like transporting a criminal prisoner. Mei sat in the front of the car drinking wine, mercilessly flirting with the mountain. The wine bottle fell as he spoke. The mountain seized the opportunity and ran away. Small Beauty is not slow to shoot a few shots towards the distance. The unlucky mountain had to be shot in the leg. He limped on and on. When I saw a house in the distance, unable to hold the mountain, fainted. When he wakes up, I found myself in a strange bed. At a short distance, a little boy peeped at him from behind a curtain. The mountain suddenly realized that the boy had déjà vu. Then the boy slowly moved closer to him. The expression on his face started to get really weird. Then the mountain remembered. He was executed before the eldest son of his own surrogate victim. The mountain fainted again. When he woke up, there was no one around. He walked slowly out of the house. There was a flash of white light in the darkness. The little beauty couple chased me like a ghost. Unexpectedly, Dashan's double climbed forward on a leash. It's become a completely manipulated toy. Small beauty signal mountain only use blood to let go of the past. Then the man handed the dagger to the mountain. Wait for him to make his choice. But the mountain thought for a moment and dropped the dagger, and cursed the people in front of them. May raised her pistol and aimed it at the mountain. The mountain is not afraid of threats. Picked up the dagger and threw it further away. That's when the double swooped in. Here come the two mountains and fight. When the double had Dashan by the neck, the mountain could stand it no longer. Roll over and use the punch. Hit the double in the head once and for all. Then little beauty quickly ran over and hugged the mountain. Hold him in your arms like a baby. Daoyama got on the bus to the airport with the others. It's like nothing happened to anyone else. Chatting casually, the mountain came to the airport but stopped where it was. He didn't get on the plane until everyone was gone. I'm back at the resort that changed my life. The infinity pool reflects his predicament. An optical illusion at the edge of the pool make the water seem to flow forever. Although it may seem like a sense of freedom, but it also means Dashan could not escape this new reality. He's drowning in more and more depraved behavior, be unable to extricate oneself from.